Welcome back to QT with the Pod. Hello, all my beautiful queens. I know mostly queens are listening, and that's a-okay with me. Hey, queens, my cuties. I'm so excited to have you back for another episode. Make sure you're following me on Instagram. Same old, same old. But something a little bit more important. Please take the time to rate and review my podcast. It's important for visibility reasons. We want to grow, right? So take some time right now. Just rate it, leave a cute little review, take a screenshot right now and post it on your story. So I'm really dependent on you guys to put in the work. So we are going to get started with today's episode. And it's a very, very, very important one to me because it's something near and dear to my heart. Near and dear. It is about gossip. Yep, it's about gossip. And I just always hate the bad rep gossip gets. Like, I feel like I'm a very objective person. And objectively speaking, everyone gossips. But of course, you have those people who are like, oh no, I don't gossip. Gossiping is bad. Gossiping is wrong. Or you have the men who say, that's a female thing. Only females gossip. Those are all lies. If you are a living, breathing human with warm blood running through your veins, you gossip. You gossip, and there's nothing wrong with that. So we're going to talk about kind of the history of gossiping and how everyone gossips, the different types of gossip, and what gossip means. Like, it serves a purpose. It serves a function in our society. Like, we gossip because we're humans. And of course, I have, if you look in the show notes, I have all my sources linked. I'm going to try to start doing that because I do a lot of research for all of my episodes. I mean, of course, a lot of it is my own thoughts, but I do research too. Sometimes I throw out things, and that's because I know I've read it. So all of the articles, I put them in my notes, and I will make sure to put them in the show notes. They are there. So let's jump into it. So everyone gossips. The old people, the young people, the kids, our culture, our history, everything depends on it. Like, even history books, some of that is based off gossip that they've read in journals. Journals, that's gossip. That's them writing, this is what happened. Historians trust that, okay? We hear about things, we express our opinions, we hear from our peers or strangers on the internet, we discuss it. Everyone does that. All of that is gossip. Gossip can make or break a person. It can build trust, it can destroy trust. It could tell you who's in and who's out. It's a staple. Gossip is a staple of our society. It gets a bad rep, but I support it. I support it. But it's always associated with women. So that's what I guess I'm trying to I don't know. I'm not trying to disprove anything. I'm just here to talk. So let's start with the official definition of gossip. So according to Google, it is a casual or unconstrained conversation or reports about other people, typically involving details that are not confirmed as being true. Okay. That's the definition as of today. So, casual conversation about people involving details that are neither confirmed or true. Confirmed as being true. So gossip actually started off in the 12th century referring to a godparent or a sponsor during a baptism. So it was related to religion. Go figure. Who would have thought? Like every other word. And this was very interesting. Like, words, the meanings of words change like crazy. But that's the 12th century, right? We're talking about a godparent during a baptism. Then we move into the where were we? 1631. The meaning expanded to just a close friend of either sex. So just a friend you talk to, you engage in idle talk with. So right now, gossip has been used as a noun up until the 1600s. In the 1600s, we have Michael Drayton. He wrote a poem and he used the word gossip in it as a verb, and it meant to engage in rumor mongering, spreading rumors, right? The word shows up again in 1791 as a noun. So now it went back to a noun, and it's referring to the talk or the rumor itself. So the idea of gossip. Okay. So today, gossip still has a similar meaning, but it definitely has a negative connotation. So it's still based off rumors, talk. It could still be a verb or a noun, you know? It's diverse in that, right? But it still has that, and it definitely is negative. So I want to jump into the history of gossip. And I do want to put this disclaimer out. Everything I'm talking about, like, it hit me as I was doing the research. I was like, this is all about white women. No shade to white women. You know, I'm not here to tear down a white woman. But this is all about white women. Like, I'm like, okay, I was a slave then. So this has nothing to do with my ancestors. They couldn't even talk or read. So they relied on gossip, I will say, because that's the only way slaves could talk to each other, through word of mouth, you know, like them over there on that plantation said that, you know, we ride at midnight. It's all word of mouth. They relied on gossip. And I'll still say today, like, black people do rely on gossip. A lot of our culture is represented through gossip. I've been reading gossip sites since I was little, but yeah. Okay, great. So gossip was viewed as an activity that, like, you know, friends and family, close friends, they engaged in this, right? It was a way to bond. It was kind of therapeutic for them. You know, you at home, your husband's at work. You get together with your homegirl, you talk. Think about what white women that don't work do. In the what year is this? I don't know what year it is. But they didn't work, so they're gathering, they're talking. So it became a woman only thing, right? That's what society was saying at that point. Only women gather in groups to talk, and eventually it became demonized because it was like, you silly woman, you have shit to do. Why are you talking to your friends about my business that goes on in this house instead of cleaning this house and doing whatever else you're supposed to be doing? So apparently men didn't gossip. We all know that's false. If anything, I'm telling you right now, men gossip more than women do, but it's worded differently. Okay, so men's gossip is viewed as more important than women, because mostly women will gossip about social things, right? They're friends, they're a celebrity or something like that. Men will gossip about work, people at work, things at work, and it's coded as networking, lobbying, meeting for important topics. Either way, when they meet, they're talking about other people and they're talking about things that probably aren't confirmed as true, aka gossip. Another thing about the difference between the ways men and women gossip: women will gossip in public. Women will gather in groups and talk. Men do it in private. And they did in the past. Men will meet in private and talk, and it's not seen as gossip. It's seen as chopping it up with their homeboys. You're gossiping, sir. You are gossiping. If you're in the car right now with a man, let him hear this part. You're gossiping. You're a gossiper. Okay. So on average, and this is a side note, on average, a person spends 52 minutes per day talking about other people, regardless of gender. All of us spend about an hour a day talking about other people. Okay. And 65% of conversations consist of social topics. Social topics don't always have something to do with you. And that's okay. Like, we live in a social world. So yeah, let me just throw that in there. So my conclusion after reading this is that, gossiping in a sense empowered women. They were able to connect with other women in their community, engage in conflict resolution. I'm sure there was a fight that happened, and they were kind of like, yo, we got to talk about this. They were able to vent. But misogyny said no. No, 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 no. You will not be able to meet and discuss what happened with your friend. So what we're going to do is punish you women for talking. There were laws against women who gossiped or had friendship meetings at home or in public. Okay? The expectation is that women were going to be quiet, remain calm regardless of the situation, and no compliance meant punishment. The punishment, Lord have mercy. Me thinking about how many times I've talked about people. So I have the picture included in the show notes as well. So this is called the Scold's Bridle, and it's basically an iron muzzle that covered the head with a plate. So a muzzle covers go look at the picture as I'm talking about this. So it covers the head with a plate, and then there's a piece in the mouth that presses down on the tongue if you try to talk. So literally they were saying, shut up. Don't you even attempt to talk. Like if you got caught gossiping, you were putting this on. Sometimes that little piece on the tongue, it had like spikes on it, and it could press down and obviously hurt you, right? So they said, if you gossip, we are going to hurt you and traumatize you. That's what men's response was to women gossiping. Now think about how powerful that conversation between women, that camaraderie between women had to be for men to say, we will cut your tongue into pieces if you don't stop talking. I'm just saying. Like, men really try their hardest to break women apart. So, yeah, of course, that's nothing compared to, I'm sure, what would have happened to a slave if they were caught having a leisurely conversation or gossiping with one of their friends. So, yeah, that made me think about that. So right now, today, gossip is still largely seen as a women's only sport. I had one of my friends, and I said to him, I was like, you gossip more than me. And he got so mad. And I'm like, bro, you literally come to me and say, it just sounds differently when you do it, but you're gossiping. Men don't get mad if you tell them they gossip. So now let's talk about the purpose of gossip, because gossip serves a purpose. It truly does. A lot of purposes. This research I got from Wikipedia, just Googled reasons for gossip, and I was like, I immediately agree with all of these. And of course, there are probably more, but these were really good. So, the first one is to reinforce or punish the lack of morality and accountability. So to reinforce morality or to punish the lack of morality. And when I thought about this, I have examples for each one. Immediately, Tristan Thomas and what's her name? Khloe Kardashian. Tristan and Khloe, right? The king of cheating and the queen of... She's a queen in her own right, because I am not here to shame women. I'm here to talk about how we need to stand in our gossiping ways. So I am not going to tear down Miss Kardashian today. But we always talk about how she never holds him accountable. There are no consequences. How he lives his best life cheating. We gossip about that. Okay, so we gossip about the lack of morality and accountability. We gossip about how could he even do that? Like, damn, like, where do you draw the line, Tristy? Okay, so that's one. The second function of gossip is to reveal passive aggression, to isolate and harm others. Immediately thought of like Mean Girls. Like, we probably did this kind of gossiping in 3rd to 5th grade. That's when I was on this wave, So gossiping to hurt others, maybe There was a girl in my middle school, and we didn't talk about her for no reason, but we like middle schoolers are mean, right? We've all been a mean middle schooler. And she had this scent, like she just smelled like fish. And we would always make fun of her, like say, you got fish sticks, blah, blah, blah. And that was mean. We isolated her. I did look her up on Facebook a couple years after that when it hit me. And I thought, damn, you were mean. She looks like she's doing good according to Facebook. So she got over that trauma, and I do send out a public apology to her. But there's still adults that definitely gossip to isolate each other, to isolate other adults. That's not my cup of tea. I don't like to do that because we too grown to be trying to isolate people. Like, grow up. Okay. The third reason is to serve as a process of social grooming. So with this one, think about like how chimpanzees literally groom each other. Like they pick bugs from each other to keep each other clean. They what do they do? They do stuff for each other, right? And the other person does it back to them. So this is literally you scratch my back, I scratch your back. Humans have evolved past the point of picking bugs off each other, which we still do each other's hair and groom each other, but now we use language to fulfill that social networking. So there we go. Everyone does this one. You know, I heard this about you. This is what the streets are saying about you. So on and so on. I think this one, I don't know if I necessarily participate in this one, but I think of Real Housewives of anything, right? Whenever they meet up, let's get tea. And girl, I heard this. They're social. That's social grooming. I think this is the fourth reason. So the fourth function of gossip is to build and maintain a sense of community with shared interests, information, and values. This is pure chit chat. We're catching up. You heard what? What did you see? Did you see this latest episode of 90 Day Fiance? Oh my God, he's so stupid. How does he think he likes her? Things like that. We're talking with one another, you know? Definitely. 10 out of 10, my favorite form of gossiping. Also, to begin a courtship that helps one find their desired mate by counseling others. We all do this. You went on a date with someone, you come back, you tell us about the date. We start picking out the pros and the cons of the guy. You're on a dating app. Look at his picture. What do you think about his profile? This question seems stupid. You counsel your friends to help you find your desired mate. We do that. Men do that. Men, I just want to emphasize that men do that because I think I was triggered by this because there were just too many men telling me they don't gossip. And you're a liar. Okay. The last reason that Wikipedia lists for gossiping is a peer-to-peer mechanism for disseminating information. Yeah. We talk with our friends and break down situations that involve other people, right? A friend went on a date, come back, discuss it. What? Like, if anything, I feel like being so against gossiping says that you don't know how to build a friendship, because all of these are things that you do when you are friends with someone. Yeah. So overall, I see gossip as it's also a form of protection as well. Okay. And this one wasn't in the Wikipedia, but thinking about that, you will never know everything about other people. You know what other people will tell you about other people. It could be true or false, yes. So, I mean, like, if a friend group grows in size, like, you're connected by 2 degrees. It's impossible for everyone to physically see each other, make their own judgment. So when you gossip, you're able to learn more about them and kind of bridge that knowledge gap. That's okay. You're going to meet, if you meet that person and you're like, they're not for me, then they're not for you. And that's A-okay. So I want to just end with this. It's okay to gossip. Men have tried to demonize women gossiping for so long that it's so strange. It's so strange that you would be offended by women gathering in groups and talking. And that says something. So, with all that being said, gossip on, but don't be a mean girl. Cuties are not mean girls. But can you gossip about something? Yeah, it's okay to talk to your friend about stuff. Go ahead and do it, girl. So, I'm signing out. Thank you so much. Let me know. Send me a DM on Instagram. Tell me what you think about this episode. What are some other reasons for gossip? So on and so on. I will see you guys later and enjoy the rest of your morning, evening, or night. Bye.